This is the Now Morning Show, and our next guest is Shakila Daniel, who is a clinical nutritionist. And we thought we'll talk about healthy snacks for their packs as it's the first day of the term. Welcome to the show, Shakila.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to find out, what's a clinical nutritionist?
Okay, so clinical nutritionists, we work in a clinic, basically. We help patients one-on-one with nutritional disorders. And the difference between a clinical dietitian and a clinical nutritionist, we deal with a more holistic approach, understanding, seeing patients, really explaining nutritional education and holistic value of understanding eating.
All righty. Yes. So what we want to find out is healthy snacks for their packs.
Yes.
It's the first day of school, and parents are thinking, what can I put in my children's lunch kits to keep them healthy?
Yes. Well, of course, I will say fruits. Children need to eat between 3 to 4 hours. Every 3 to 4 hours, they need to keep eating because they are in a developmental stage in their life. Yeah, because unlike adults, they require more vitamins and nutrients because, as I said, developmental process. They need it for growth, memory, understanding, cognition, especially when you're at school. So you want to make sure that they're fully and properly nourished and never, hungry or tired and things like that. It gives them energy and helps them to remember and learn faster. So you need to keep them nourished. Snacks are very important. That's why I think in primary school you have 2 recess.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah.
And secondary school you have 1. They need more. Make sure as parents that you pack fruits for them. I really prefer local fruits, not just because I want to say go local, but foreign fruits, when they're imported, they usually are treated with chemicals to fasten the ripening process, etc., and they're not picked at maturity. That is not healthy for your kids.
Okay.
They can mimic GMOs, and you don't want any carcinogens or any cancer-causing stuff to affect them in their childhood. So choose the local fruits that you can probably pick or get fresh from the markets. You can't go wrong with fruits. Make sure they're not high in sugar levels either.
Is there anything such as too much fruits?
Yes, yes, there certainly is. There are fruits that are high in fructose or high in sugar, have high glycemic index. You don't want that. So you don't want to have too many mangoes.
Sort of, can you give us some, too many mangoes.
Yeah, I mean, mangoes are great, right? But
is that just for children or adults too?
Adults too, everybody. High glycemic index isn't good for any of us.
Okay.
But everything in moderation, that's the key of nutrition. Really making choices that are good for the digestive health and for satiety and training your children. And I must say parents are the examples. You can't want your children to eat well, then you're not making good choices. So give them fruit. It could be, if you want mangoes, half-ripe mangoes.
Okay.
Watermelons are excellent because they have a low glycemic index. They tend to make you full longer.
Right.
And I think
are they a diuretic as well? Like they make you lose,
they are natural diuretic, help to flush excess water. It keeps them hydrated. It tastes nice. It tastes sweet. And you could cube watermelons and even freeze them from before and then put them in Ziploc containers. You could have papayas, even half-ripe papayas are fine. It's great for brain development and
what about
antioxidants.
bananas?
Yes, bananas are great too. They're not my fan. I'm not a fan of bananas. And sometimes if they're overripe, they can give you a lot of sugars too. So you have to be careful. But bananas are excellent source of potassium. Cherries, guavas.
Pomerac.
Yes. Oh,
yes.
You know the things. Just picking some nice
pomerac.
ones there. So stick with the fruits. If you need to give them snacks, try not to take the snacks that are heavily processed.
Okay.
Look at the ingredients to the back. So it is required on all food labels that you itemize ingredients. Parents want to look for snacks that doesn't have a lot of hydrogenated anything or partially hydrated this. So
Why specifically not hydrogenated fats and such?
because these fats are harder, well, it's more what we term unsaturated fats, and they are synthetic, and they contribute to high cholesterol levels and excess visceral fat, that's internal fat, and you don't want that to happen in children. You don't want them to have elevated cholesterol levels from small. You want them to have the natural fats, avocados. I know children may not eat avocados, but cooking with coconut oil and these kinds of things, using natural stuff, changing their palates. A lot of parents, I have a picky eater. And I understand that, that's understandable. But if you continue introducing the foods to them and you put your foot down and you eat like them too, eventually they would, get on board with you, and it'll be easier.
What about vegetables like carrot sticks and that sort of thing?
Yes, excellent. Vegetables are always a fantastic idea. Just make sure for children that they are dippable. So the carrot sticks, it's always a little helpful to give. You could give them the dips, whether it be a sort of a salad dressing or a salsa, anything to make it. Some parents sprinkle a little sugar over, not the white sugar, but brown granulated sugar in its moderate amounts are fine if it's getting the child to eat the fruit.
Now, you mentioned the salad dressings there, and I've read certain articles saying that they are very high in fat.
Yes.
So,
certain
you know,
ones.
so what would you say is a good alternative to, the processed salad dressings?
You can make your own salad dressings at home. You start it. It's a bit more tedious, but you could start with using either plain yogurt or plain sour cream, and then you add fresh seasonings to that and kind of make your own salad dressing. You could also use yogurt. Yogurt is a great alternative for dips. You, of course, want to use like the Greek yogurts, so it's the healthier yogurts for the children. If you're looking at their, I don't want to call any brands, but they are conveniently packed yogurts for children.
Okay.
Make sure and find the ones that are more organic. You see no GMO and low in sugars.
Right.
Children should not be exceeding 40 grams of sugar a day at all. Adults, women recommended at 25 grams of sugar, men at 30.
And that's what, like 1 teaspoon?
No, it's about 6 teaspoons. 6 grams
That's
is about 6 teaspoons of
okay.
sugar a day.
Okay.
Are we talking about added sugar, right? Because most food items would have amounts
So like
of
sugar in your coffee?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you want
Or sugar in the juice for the children?
And that's another main issue. I'm glad that you brought up sugar in the juice, because when we're picking juices, parents need to look at the percentage of juice. What we call juice in Trinidad a lot of times is not really that. It's really a beverage from concentrate. Or sometimes you actually see on labels, they say 3% juice. You do not want to give your child 3% juice. So make sure you make some good choices. Look at the ingredients, look at the amounts of sugars that you're putting in, because sugar not only adds to childhood obesity, it adds to pediatric diabetes, as well as a lot of inflammation, chronic inflammation in children. It can disrupt their concentration levels, the ability to learn, as I said, mental cognition, memory, all these things. So get the sugar levels down.
And is there a time of the day that you don't want to give fruits? So is it that you give fruits in the morning? I think I heard that somewhere. Fruits in the morning, vegetables in the afternoon, or it doesn't matter with children?
Okay, so that's a bit of a tricky question. The digestive tract and system of a child isn't very similar to an adult. It's different. So keeping that in mind, there are biochemical reactions that happen with fruits and vegetables when we eat it at certain times. Yes, you can get fermentation with certain fruits, eating it later on at night or when they're close to bedtime. You never want to give fruits or vegetables too late to children. When they go to bed, it can contribute to indigestion and irritation, that kind of thing. And so yes, kind of keep the fruits in the morning and in the daytime. Use fruits that are not very fermentable. I should say, like the is that a word?
Right? It is now,
but not highly fermented fruits. Like you have your pineapples and things like that. And pineapple, you have to be careful what you put it with. So yeah, keep the fruits in the day.
You mentioned a term earlier. You said high glycemic index. Could you give just a simplified explanation of what high glycemic index is versus low glycemic index?
Okay, so it just means the sugar content of food. Most foods that I mentioned has sugars. You have polysaccharides and disaccharides and monosaccharides. It basically means the sugar, the glucose content of a single food. A high glycemic index food has a high amount of either natural or added sugars in it. Even with fruits, high glycemic fruits would be fruits high in fructose. Fructose is a type of sugar, a polysaccharide, naturally existing in fruits and vegetables. And some fruits have it more than others. They would increase in the amount when it has reached maturity or high or overripe and things like that. So you just really want to make sure your glycemic levels or index of foods are lower. In that way, you don't have an excess of sugar in it. Right. And make sure and include protein in the diet, parents, please. Meats are very important, less processed food, but give them the breast meat or the thighs and let them eat chicken and fish and, explore on what they like. Make sure that you have high protein content and high vegetable content, and the carbohydrates are regulated.
Regulated. I'm glad you said that. We have just a few more seconds,
Okay.
but in terms of like bran muffins and stuff, because we
Yes.
spoke about fruits, vegetables,
Right.
and proteins.
Yes.
Things like homemade muffins,
Yes.
bran muffins. and
Those
stuff.
are excellent because carbohydrates are important for your diet. You need carbohydrates to activate using proteins, etc. So don't take carbs out of children's diet, but sneak in the whole grain and sneak in the bran and these kind of things. Trick them into eating whole wheat pasta. Introduce them to quinoa. You could kind of just saute it in some nice chicken stock so it tastes nice,
Okay,
So
that's interesting.
yeah, I got some ideas there of, really getting the children's palate very diverse and introducing some great alternatives to just the white rice and the flour and stuff like that.
And of
Whole
course,
wheat
there's
salad.
always good old spinach.
Always, can't go
Always.
wrong.
Thank you so much, Shaquila Daniel,
problem.
clinical nutritionist, for
Yes.
joining us. And I'm sure we're going to see much more of you.
Yes,
on the
anybody
Now
want to
Morning
visit
Show.
the clinic can do so.
Yes.
We're located at Center of Excellence in Makoya.
Yeah.
Right there in Makoya. Just pop by and Classy Bodies Wellness. Call us, check us on Facebook and Instagram. And we'll help you out plan your meals.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thanks for having
Shaquila Daniel. We're taking a few messages. Come back. We still have a little bit more time with you here on the Now Morning Show. Back after this.